Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is another session, another time of discussion, another time that we can spend time together and evaluate, assess, analyze what is going on in Sierra Leone. Of course, we're looking at what is happening with our government. What is happening to the people of Sierra Leone? What is happening to our institutions? I think we're looking at all of those stuff, and what have our institution in Sierra Leone been up to, especially the Electoral Commission Sierra Leone. We want to know what that institution is all about, what it's doing in our nation, what are some of the progress, the challenges, and the hypocrisy. It's every day there is more than enough news. It's just that sometimes you don't have time to read, you don't have time to listen, you don't have time to watch, and when you don't have time to do all of these things, you are like left behind. You don't follow up what is going on in our country. It's like you're not au fait with what is going on in our country. It is absolutely necessary for each one of us to be more, focused on what is going on in Sierra Leone. We must be focused on what is happening in our country. I think our nation, our people deserve more than they have been treated. Our people deserve the best. For some of us who have, sometimes when people talk about the diaspora, people think, oh, we are being boastful. That is not it. To be very candid, it is not being boastful. It is just telling people that the services we are enjoying in the Western nations, we're supposed to enjoy that services in Sierra Leone. And that is why, for me, I continue to blame the royal family of the United Kingdom. I continue to blame the royal family. I continue to blame Britain for what has been done to Africans. Because all the semblances we are seeing right now is based on what these people have done to Africans. We cannot shy away from it. I cannot sugarcoat it. No way. I cannot blame the United States. No. I am blaming the colonizer. And Britain is the colonizer. It is Britain, and especially the royal family. It is the royal family I'm going to blame. Go back to history. Let us start. This is, I'm just making a preamble. I'm just making a case. For some of those who are saying that, well, Britain have gone, the Queen, everybody else have gone a long time ago. It's over 61 years for Sierra Leone. Oh yes, 61 years. Do you know how the damage they have caused? And do you know the damage they still continue to do? They still continue to cause in that country? Sometimes I don't know, but it is this, we continue to have this slave mentality, continue to subject ourselves to this slavery mentality. That is why You know, I was listening to somebody and he was talking about what they have done, the colonizers have done to Africans. Explain what this guy was saying. This guy was looking at, in essence, what they brought to Africans. And what they tried to translate, what they tried to interpret to Africans. When they brought the Bible, they tried. Yes, we're back. We're back again. Yeah, I think what they did to Africans was they brought the Bible, and this Bible was translated to Minde, to Loko, to Limba, to Timini, to most of the languages, Kranko. They translated it to most of the language, even to Fula. But when they brought technology, when they brought these other things, you know, what is we're talking about academics. When they brought academics, they only brought it in what? In English. They did not say, okay, let's get these academics into these local languages. But they brought the Bible. The Bible was translated into several local languages. They want to make us submissive. And that's what I see a lot of people doing. And that's what I see beaucoup people that they do. Where we they condemn the act of Britain and the royal family, they are coming to what? To fine-tune them, fine-tune the royal family. Make them as if they have not done anything. Because that's what I see. Don't tell me you are trying to equate. So, our own people did not do this. After us, it's 61 years. You know, we should have done this. You know the damage they have caused. That's the same damage the Americans caused to what? The blacks in America. And that's why you see what is happening. That damage that has been caused years ago, over 500 years ago, has still been felt by the blacks in the United States. It is irreparable. The damage is irreparable. It's the same damage that has been caused by Britain and the royal family to Africans. That damage is irreparable. And they continue to subject us to several things. I told you about the loan. The loans they give Africans and the loans they give to the Western world. It's two different. America also takes loan. China takes loan. All of these countries, they take loans. 1-point-something%. And when it comes to Africa, it's like 15, 16, 17%. So what are you talking about? When you're talking, oh, we should have done this for ourselves. The moment you have a government that begins to straighten up, especially for countries like us that don't have anything. When I mean anything, that don't have like a force to counteract these people. We are so subjective. We don't have anything to combat these people. No, get nothing for withstand them. You know, look the way how they treat Rwanda. I don't think some of you need for go and read, go and watch. How did they subject these people? Because they see these people don't begin move away. That they move towards becoming like what? Western nations. They are not there, but they are moving towards the Kenyans. Well, that's not called even. Those East African countries, some of them. Rwanda, you get Tanzania, you get Zambia, you get Malawi. These are countries that are rebranding themselves. Then they rebrand themselves, then they try for become nations like the Western nations. They're not there yet, but they're striving towards it. But yet they are being suppressed by the West. Yes, they are being branded. by the West. And you're telling me that I shouldn't blame, I am not for blame the Queen and entourage there. All of the entourage, they are not for blame them. I'll continue to blame them for the ills of our nation. I'll continue to blame them. Go be by yourself, will rule yourself. Let them if don't left free back. Let's see. But they came and corrupted us. All what happened at Salon now, they are the architect of it. Take the way, put them so, take the way, make them so, take the way, bunch them together. Then we are not supposed to say anything. But that's besides. But we'll continue to blame them. But we need to focus as a nation. We need to focus about waiting the happen as alone. But let's start off. What in the go on? You know, then people also. Can you run a country like you're running a pet store? Eh? Can you run a country like you are running a pet store? Some of you now will get pets there. Where they go to a pet store? There's several things within the pet store. Several things. It depends on you. You want for make the choice for your pet. Now you they make the choice for your pet. That is how these people run Sierra Leone. They don't even have time to say, okay, let's consult. Let's consult. If not, let's consult the representative of the people. No. They make a decision like you go to the pet store. You choose what you want choose for your dog. You choose what you want for make your dog eat. That is how then they run with nations. Saloon. The way you go, you are going to a pet store. It's insulting, and that's why I'm doing it. I want to insult them. Because you demonstrate, like say, you don't get the capacity for consult. You don't get the know-how, the technical know-how for consult. You don't have it. So you know they consult with people. You just do what you feel like when you go to a pet store, you buy anything for your dog. Buy anything for your cat. Buy anything for any pet you get in a house. The prerogative for do that. We are not in a pet store. Sierra Leone is not a pet store. Now begin for talk for about the president in Gowan and Kenya. Because it's shameful. You know what is shameful? When people they come, then they defend this thing. It's shameful when people then they come, they defend, oh, they begin pull letter, all. Then they pull letter, then they show, oh, who president here, they invite her. That is a shame. That you have to defend some. This is funny, it's very funny. You go for pull letter. This man be talking, what's his name? This NGC one. Every time SLPP then get for can explain. Every time they get for can explain. Every time they go get for can explain. We don't tire with una explanation. We don't tire SLPP, Paupa. We don't tire with una explanation. Every day we get for can explain. Every day we get for can explain. We get for can defend. Every single day we get for defend. You say they invite the man. Let's analyze this thing. Let we analyze. Let can analyze. You and me, let analyze. Let analyze for them back. Let see if really they invite this man. That letter could have been written even when they did not Kenya Day. That letter could have been written. Because they know say after that mistake day, they know say there will be an uproar in Sierra Leone. Let me tell you, I get a friend in Kenya. He said this whole week, most of them small TV station, their radio station, then they talk about this here. So how can the president go make that kind of mistake there? It's not the first thing I did. But then calling programs and people then they call, say, well, we understand, say, they not invite him, he just come for himself and this and that. The two sides, the one where they in favor, the one where they vex because the president not mentioned, the one where they say, no, they not invite him. Because it's not possible for make them invite somebody, they're not calling name. So me and this my friend and Acadia, we talk and everything. He say, so they ask me what I think about it. So I begin explain waiting, they happen at salon. Because to know much, take time here, can talk so. But when this thing happen, I try for contact and through Facebook, I get time, then I call, give me number, I call her. So they talk. Who they talk? Hey, they say, explain about what they happen. So I begin explain. I send photos, I send pictures them for things where they happen at salon, killings and everything. I send a lot of things there for for make it get in touch. Then I give them sites where go for verification, for confirm, So I give them all. And some of us need to be doing that. Let people know what is going on in Sierra Leone. Some of us who get friends there within our other side, let them they know. When they say no, then they go spread the message. So I begin giving them a lot of information about what is going on in Sierra Leone, the things that they happen, the government will get, and what they're doing to the people and everything. I said, don't believe me, hook, line, and sinker. Go and confirmation. Try to look at other things. Try if you have other people, call them. They say you are the only friend I have in Sierra Leone. I said, well, go Google and confirm. You can go through the American embassy, you can go through other embassies and go through all of these things in Sierra Leone. You can get information. Go to Twitter, you can get information from there. Because one of the things I believe is that I believe that people should be given enough information. Let them go and digest it. When they digest it, let them go and confirm this information. I don't want people to just listen and take it hook, line, and sinker. When I tell you, I try to analyze things here. I try to analyze. I try to see how you and I can discuss, even though we're not in the same room or probably together, talk, you and I talking, in a virtual room. No. We're not. But you might be evaluating also in your mind about this invitation. Let me tell you, how can a president, you say you are invited, and they forget to introduce you? This thing is logical. Please, let's analyze this. It is logical. Put everything I'm saying into reasoning. Just reason out the whole event. Just reason out the whole situation. Each one of you guys are mature now to reason. This is not because I'm supporting this party and will continue to support and defend at all costs. That is why this is what I see. Some people will defend at all costs. Even when it is wrong, they continue to defend. Let us see. Was this man invited? But let's think it this way. Let's think it this way. I have invited people to come. I made them like honor, guest of honor or something like that. Or I put them in a pedestal wherein they must be probably in the high table. If I'm having these people on the high table, I should know them. If I don't know them, somebody should have introduced. I remember when I was a pastor in the church, if we invite somebody new in the church and we have to make an introduction, I don't know that person, one of the leaders or somebody else who knows the person will come to me, because I'm the one that is going to do the invitation, the announcement and the introduction. So you come to me, you give me some idea about the person, I'll write it down, make sure I write it down, and you keep saying these things to me, I write them down, and I make sure I know a little bit about that person before I talk about that person. Even though I did not invite that person, somebody else invited, they will come to me because I have to come to the pulpit. I have to talk about new guests we have in the church. And so somebody will introduce that person to me. And I will get, if I don't have a talk with them, or probably that person came in late, that person will come to my office and say, hey, Pastor, let me give you a little bit about this person. When I come to the pulpit, I will talk about that person. That person will stand and will definitely give him a rouse of applause and everything. You do that. But you have a first-hand information or a second-hand information about that person. And so when you standing with, when you're introducing you know some. But if you don't introduce that person, or that person is not invited, they just come to the church. No, as a pastor, you don't know. You cannot say about that person. We've gone through several times when people say they will not come to church, but they finally made it. They call, they say, hey, we're coming. But by then, the church has already started. One of the church leaders will come, or an usher will come in and tell me, hey, that person will be say they come, will be say no, they come. He say they come now. We say it will be for maker now. And so quickly I say, go and write something about that person. Let me have a little bit of that person. Let me know what he's doing or she's doing. Let me know about that, a little bit about that person. Let me have a little bit of a background. And they will give me a background. If it is too late, I will call on the individual to come and introduce the guest. That is what we do. Let's take for this one now, the president's Madabio. This is a big occasion. This is an international occasion. And this president is a president of a whole nation. I remember, yes, in these latter times, it is more economical to just invite those that are very close to your country. It is very economical now, and it is even encouraged now. Just invite those that are very close to your country. If it is in West Africa, you invite those in West Africa. It's in East Africa, you invite those in East Africa. If it's in Southern Africa, it is in Northern Africa. You just invite those very close to your country. It's economical. It saves money. It saves time also. Because to fly from Sierra Leone to Kenya, it's about 4 or 5 hours. You are going to fly from Nigeria to Sierra Leone, it's an hour and a half. So you have this convenience. They try as much as possible to make it convenient for leaders. But this man flew from Sierra Leone to Kenya, which is close to 5 hours, because it's 4 hours and some change. But let's say 5 hours. And after being there, your name is forgotten. You were not introduced like the others were introduced. Your name would come, your introduction came in after, some aspect of the speech is already gone. That is when your name was, in fact, what was done was wrong. News just reached me, or information just reached me. It tells you that something went wrong somewhere. It tells you that his name was not in the initial introduction. I want you to analyze it. You say there are certain things you have to analyze. I want to let you analyze this. You are analyze. Analyze them for yourself. Sierra Leoneans are one of the problem, Dandy. We they fail for analyze. We they fail for reason. Because when you reason out this thing, you go no say something wrong somewhere. If the leader, they can't say, well, news don't reach me, say we get other visitors there. We get other people there. We get other leaders there. That tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. If you really, really, really reason out. Me, I know they defend them kind here. I'd rather be quiet. I can tell people there are certain things that the way they come and defend. I'd rather you quiet about it. Don't say you want. Don't say nothing. Because it's shameful for say something where say this thing wrong. Say I'm saying the wrong thing. Somebody else, he call himself Jabi, they come now. Well, when they say they not invite Mother Bill, but look later. This and that. Look where they honor. You are shameful. You are a disgrace. I'm telling you. But that Fatima Jabi in family. That voice they say for Sabia. I can tell you. Because I get connection to the Jabi there. That voice there, Sabi, that voice there. But no go talk. For them they can't defend something where defendable. And remember, they also invite the president of Guinea-Bissau. They call him name. Only if you listen to that, 5 hours occasion. Over 5 hours. It passed 5 hours. Occasion. Then call Guinea-Bissau, then president. Then call his name. Why is it? Because they invite him. I want to look. This time all day in West Africa. Guinea-Bissau in West Africa is just after Guinea. You get Guinea-Bissau. NSSF, they invite him, but then call his name. If they invite Mother Bio, why they forget in him? Now the question and the way for ask yourself, why they forget in him? Therefore, you see, I tell you now, philosophy is all about asking questions. That make everybody you need for do philosophy. Because philosophy is all about asking questions. Why this thing for happen? Why make them forget in name? Then you begin for you propound now. You begin for propound. Why make this thing? Why they forget in name? But they don't give the president the list. The names of the president, they don't get the list. They don't be the expectant day. They're not expectant day. They're not. I not say the Kenyans, they're very poor at pronunciation. That I can tell you. They're very poor. Exit, they say exit. I don't remember if I showed them the pronoun, but they get very poor at pronouncing some English word. They're very, very poor at it. One tell what the time I go Kenya. I've been go teach some I'll be the work for this organization. I've been go teach some pastors them and some leaders there with regards to how they do we crusades there and what they do and how it go like the financial department and all the other groups and the planning and everything. So I go give them a little bit of a boost as to how they do. So the other guy for introduce me, he called me name Dumbuyah, or something like that, Dumbuyah. They're very poor. That I can very poor. Africa, now one of the people that were very some English words are very, very poor for pronouncing. So I don't go, even though to be very honest with you, the way how pronounce the name, it tell you say now just write them for then gear. Then write her then gear. Not to like somebody not pronounce them, because if they mean pronounce the name to them, even for pronounce them, even though you not go pronounce them well, but I for a little bit pronounce them, close to the pronunciation itself. But it means they just write them for them. So it pronounce them how it see them, how infant say if it be pronounced. Bio is a bio. I don't remember again how he pronounced the mother. But I think we need for later one day to rest. He was not invited. Period. Nobody will convince me. There's not a person that will convince me that Mother Bio was invited in that inauguration. He was not invited. Period. I don't care whether you go ahead and begin to convince other people, begin to tell us. No, he was not invited in that place. He was not supposed to be there. It's just a waste of the country's resources. The West African, another West African leader was invited. The president of Guinea-Bissau was invited. Because he went there as what? As chairman of ECOWAS. Mother Bio went there as what? He was not invited. And let me tell you, these countries are way, way ahead of us. When you talk about the Tanzanians, when you talk about the Kenyans, when you talk about the Rwandans, when you talk about Zambians, when you talk about Malawians, they are way ahead of us. I doubt if they had time for him during that time, because this man was talking to key investors. He was talking to people, countries who are investing in Kenya. He get time with Madabio. What he could get for talk with Madabio? What's investment? You know, sometimes we are so shallow-minded. These SLPP pauper are so shallow-minded that they don't know what they talk. You know, these people, you hear when the man, they say they invited people from America, people from Germany. You have people from Korea. that is the crops of the team. These are nations that are investing in, you know, in China. These are countries that are investing in Kenya. These are countries that have interest because there is some amount of partnership. What's investment? What's that man go talk with Madabio? We're not at the same level. We are not in the same level. Kenya and Sierra Leone are not in the same level. We are worlds apart. We are far from each other. So whose investment? What's kind of investment? What's kind of plans that where you go talk to this man? You don't have nothing. You don't have the ideas. The man, he wanted people who can what? You know, invest, people who have ideas, people who can make changes in Kenya. You go talk to who that? You go talk to Kagame of Rwanda. Because look at the kind way how Rwanda they advance. These are the people the Kenyan president want to talk to. People who have created impact in their countries. What do you have to offer, Madabio? You know, you have nothing to offer Kenya. There's nothing you can offer Kenya. So for now, you should have sat, you know, for those sit on us, wait until they will also get so many things will matter in our society, will get something for do. They don't discuss. Then you go take the crumbs. Because you they go let them help your own country. This is not your time. Inauguration is not your time. This is a time for the president to talk to key people, people who matter, people who have invested or who want to invest in Kenya. These are the kind of people who they can make themselves known to the new Kenyan president. But you have nothing to offer Kenya. There's nothing. So at that point in time, it was not your time. You're not supposed to be there because you have nothing to offer. So this man just went there to waste the resources of Sierra Leone. He just went there to waste that resources. You see the ADC behind them, you know, in assistant, the ADC behind them. You see, in face, they show you the expression, say something went wrong. The back of, you just see back of her. Say, he was not happy. Something went wrong along the way. Your facial expression, it will show a lot. The facial expression of Madabio, the facial expression of the ADC, the facial expression of what's her name? Keketoma. It is show. You guys were not invited. They never wanted you there. You just went to, I don't know what you go do there. I don't understand, because at this point in time, your time was not to go there, because this guy was discussing with people who matter in society. People who can contribute to Kenya. People who can contribute through what? Investment or through ideas. You have no idea to contribute to Kenya. There's nothing you can tell the Kenyan president. So that's why you should have waited until these guys, every one of them is dispersed. Then you can go and probably seek ideas. But now we need all the ideas in Sierra Leone. That's what we need. And Kenya is one of those countries we need ideas from. Rwanda is another one. Even Malawi, a newer head of state that is there, we need probably advice from Malawi. Madam, you need advice. So let's just lay that one to rest. He was not invited, period. So you guys continue to defend invitation, continue to defend. Now we are beginning to see two sets of signature of this one president when he was I think as a vice president or vice chair or something like that. And there is another signature now. Why did you get two different signatures of one person? And somebody was saying the Kenyan president is supposed to sue you guys. They're supposed to sue you people. Because these are two different signatures. Where did you get two different signatures? From one president, from one person. There is nothing, trust me, there is nothing the SLPP cannot do. There is nothing they went to know before. No, they know do. Nothing. They can do anything. Which they would not falsify. It's all boiled down to, I tell you now, one of these days I told you guys that it boils down to what? Leons and Saint. Everything they do comes down to Leons and Saint. The interest is not to develop Sierra Leone. The interest is anything they do is what they can get out of it. Everything they do is what they can get out of it. It boils down to Leons and Saint. And people will come on air to defend things like this. It's a shame and a disgrace. It's a shame and a disgrace for you to stand there and started defending something that is indefensible. Oh, they get a letter. Look the letter, self. Look the letter. Invite her. Do you have to defend? You guys should have just sit there and just be quiet. You should have been just say, okay, you know what? Let's leave this thing. Let's let it slide. They will talk about it, but they will forget about it. My friend in Kenya, then they discuss about this issue in Kenya. And if you listen to radio stations, and many, they get, of course, they get hundreds of radio stations, hundreds that are discussing this issue. Some people are annoyed that their president could forget a name of a president, another president. Some people are saying, well, we've heard that he was not invited. It's not possible for you to invite somebody and forget their names and everything. And which, of course, I believe in that. It's not easy for you to invite somebody personally. This is a president of a whole nation. It's not just any other person. It's not just any other person. We're talking about a president of a whole nation. He's not been to Kenya once. He's been there more than once, more than even two times. So I guess it should have been known. I was thinking this thing was done deliberately. From my own perspective, I feel say this thing was done deliberately. He was not invited. He was not supposed to be there. And when they come back, they say, well, we have, news just reached me that we have other heads of state, other friends. That's the actual word. We have other friends. And he say, my friend. Can somebody be your friend and you forget them? Everything just like bubble. Everything is it's just a mess. Everything is just a mess. You just evaluate this thing for yourself. It's a disgrace to our nation. A big disgrace to our nation. For a whole president not to be invited. And he just show up. You know, like when they don't invite you for a party, you just show up. Shumu, they begin there. One man will, they not invite. They say they not invite. They invite her. That's when they go begin. Probably that went with the other president. After the issue, probably the incident, probably they started talking about it. Of course, they would talk about it. It's a shame. If me, I would just enter inside plane back and turn back. But you know, not to Madabu. Madabu is shameless. Just like how the supporters are shameless. He is shameless. He go the back, he go the cocktail. He go sit on the back. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. If not be other party, no say that be NGC or APC. Hey, tell me for don't kill SLPP people the wasabi so. Therefore don't kill that party. The provocation then it not before end. If this would have been another party, a president of another party, that would have been different. That would have been. The SLPP wasabi. Then go. If you don't take them, then go write a book about it. They will write a book. They will write a book about it. They will make a whole pamphlet. They will even go to schools and even start to talk about it in schools. That's how bad their politics is. But nobody, and they turn back there, they can't defend her. If me now before just sit down and set me more, I will just shut my mouth. Just keep quiet and don't talk about it. Because when you don't talk about it, it just slides. But you want to talk already, you gave it more attention. When you begin to continuously talk about something, you have given that thing attention. And other people will jump in. And they'll be a part of the discussion. So continue to talk about it. I will continue to put forward some facts that shows that he was not invited. Continue to talk about it, and more information will come from Kenya to say he was not invited. Please. He was not invited. Period. Let's not waste time about it. Let's go. Let's talk about. One of these days I told you we're going to talk about the registration, and most especially we're going to talk about the $10 million that was given for what? To make purchases of items that when you hear the story, it will just kill you. It will just kill you. But that is why the registration is not effective. Because the equipment that were bought were of low standard and low grade. Cheap equipment. They gave $7 point something million. They spent only $2 million on buying those, if it's even true. News is coming in every day. The news is coming in. They bought low grade equipment that were not functional. If it's even functional, they were very, very limited functions. Equipment that were not tested, they just took them to the field, and it started giving problems on the field. I don't know what these people cannot do. Sometimes I'm short of words to describe these people. I'm short of words. Because to say thieves is an understatement. To say thieves is an understatement. There's nothing these guys cannot do to make money. And now information has started trickling down. That when they put forward the bids, several companies, they come for the bid. And then therefore take one company. We then call, I think they call her Infinity something. Infinity. Information Communication Technology and General Merchandise. Now the company named Andy. Infinity Information Communication Technology and General Merchandise. Salon is something else. You see the name of the company way long? And that country is a failed country. My God, it's a Infinity Information Communication Technology and General Merchandise. You know what they try for? Do they try for bringing everything so that they don't left out anything? So You go say illegitimate, yes, then get technology, then get communication, then get this, then get everything. Then they deal with it. Then when they finally, if self is not there with what they deal with, they say what? General merchandise. Salona, please. Salona country. Salona country where everything is possible. There is nothing. I remember one story, whenever they talk, but the president of Salon, I tell them that Papa Sheki, the president of Salon, the president of Guinea, and the president of Liberia. They say they all be the fly one plane. So, for let them know say they don't reach that country, they say, Naisha Couture open a window. We open window, now you read and they sing their song there, they get their song there with them, that then jelly bar stick there, and, I don't know how they call the instrument today. So now I say, we are now in Guinea. So they say they pass go Liberia. When they pass go Liberia, and they begin smell the rubber smell. Say that rubber, when they process the rubber, oh man, that smell, it awful. So it smell, I say, yeah, we are now in Liberia. Then Samuel Do. So when they kind of, that was Tolma. When they kind of salon now they say, now she keep putting on the window. When put on the window, now the watch go. Now I tell them, say, my friends, you say, we are now in Sierra Leone. What did that mean? It tells you that country is a country where you left everything outside in a loss. Stealing is the order of the day in that country. Stealing is the order of the day. That is what it tells you. That is the parable. Stealing is the order of the day. It just put your hand outside. They say, watch, and watch, go. He said, friends, my friends, we are now in Sierra Leone. They make us so infinity. Information, communication, technology, and general merchandise. Oh yes, if you not fit this, we go fit general merchandise. So we deal in everything. That I will tell you how corrupt that country is. How corrupt this government be. The other hand, they all. And I give you the beads. They say seal beads. 3 companies will fish out. 3 companies will put them beads out. That now they call one company Orchard Ventures. You get the other one, Bintex Incorporated Limited. They get Infinity. Okay, Infinity in own bid now 7,475,700. That's your own bid. Orchard Ventures in own bid now 7,186,626. Then you get Bintex Incorporated Limited. In own bid now 5,800,700. Okay, tell me. If you want for, you don't look for the cheapest, not so. Then you look for the one way, way affordable. And they all get everything the same. Everything the same. But yet, then take the most expensive of 7,475,700 as against 7,186,626 as against 5,800,700 as against them 2 then they. So then take the 4,700,000. Yes, 7,400,000. I mean, 7,400,000 as against 5,800,000, 7,100,000. That is how. And so we country day now. And they go for the most expensive. You see how wasteful that country is? You see how destructive this government is? You prefer to take the higher bid than the lower bid. Who does that? Guys, tell me who does that. Who takes an higher bid as against a lower bid? But because now they form, now they get the company, now they don't, now one part they get the company, now to themselves, it's sad. And that's why I tell you guys, I said I don't have any hope for that country. I don't have any hope for that country. I don't have nothing, because the same new generation we're talking about, those that are in the universities right now, that are supposed to set examples. In fact, the corruption has started right from the university. Right from the university. Those guys that are occupying those positions right now in the university, that is where the corruption is in fact, it's endemic right there. It's endemic in the university. So whose hope will you get for Salone? I don't get no hope for Salone. I don't get no hope. There is no hope. There's no hope. Don't tell me there is hope for Sierra Leone. Because I don't see it. It's not there. Zero tolerance for corruption. Zero. You don't have that. You don't have that in that country. It's 100%. 100% corrupt practice. 100%. You don't even say 80%. In fact, now it's worst. Worse is if you know 150%. Everybody, the entire nation is just corrupt. Every institution is corrupt. Go to the church and the mosque. Go to the church. Why if we say respect no day for the church and mosque in that country? Why? Why do you think there's no respect? Government has no respect for the religious bodies in that country. Because the same corruption within a government, it was in this religious organization. Because you don't see how the corruption within a mosque then, the corruption within a church then. Go see how it endemic inside them church and them mosque. People don't want to talk about it. And we must talk about it. Because these are all the things that they cause the problem na Salone. Corruption in the house of God. Corruption inside the house of God. Then you don't want people to talk about it. We're going to talk about it until we reach a point where in the church and the mosque then stand out and say, yes, let we set the example. And until the church and mosque start the example, there will not be any change in that country. I can tell you that. Because each one of us we are so hooked up to religion. When somebody can condemn religion, it's a problem. The moment you begin for condemn religion, now it don't become a problem. So we want for say now, until the church and the mosque then change that Salone, there will not be any change. There will not be a change. Watch some of these pastors, the way they say now acclaimed pastors. Check their records. Remember, I know we call one pastor in him. You don't amass so much wealth. One day, decide where they keep money. One church member then at the church. Although it's not right for make you do. Because that need for be secrecy. For come and turn you client information out to public. So you can at the church, you get one party we talk to and they tell them about this pastor in money we get at them bank. Not knowing that this person where they talk to a very close person to the pastor. Now like the pastor a henchman. Now like say now they look after for the pastor. Any two way they talk about the pastor, now the gossiper, now they go gossip to the pastor. This boy no know say this pastor, this man also now the pastor in henchman. When see the boy take him, you go tell the pastor. That day that boy not stay in that working place and sack him. I know the boy. I know the person where they talk to. I know him. In fact, I was the one of the people that will be the help that guy there. That pastor make them sack that man. Later on, he end up in my own church. And that's why I take note of the story. I don't call the pastor. One big pastor na saloon. Key pastor. We don't amass a lot of wealth inside the bank. The boy can't just like concern. He say, Pastor, how he gets so much money and people they suffer in a church. People they struggle in a church. And he get this kind of amount of money in a bank. But these are some of the things people don't want to hear. They don't want us to say these things. And that's why I tell people, look, don't tell anybody that it's only one way to go to heaven. Don't you tell people that. Don't tell people that it's only one way to go to heaven. There's nothing like that. That's nothing like one way to go to heaven. Muslims will go to heaven. Christians will go to heaven. Baha'is will go to heaven. Hindus will go to heaven. Buddhists will go to heaven. Even atheists will go to heaven. You know, sometimes you people think it's God just to look at one aspect of lives for going to heaven. No. No. There's so many things in play. And you know what? The reason why people continue to be one-sided is because they are only reading one side of history, of religion. One side of religion. That is their own aspect of religion. They are not reading other religions. They are not taking other faiths, how they practice, how these other faiths practice, what they do. We don't care about it. The only thing we care about is one-sided. We're just one-sided. I have moved away from that. And as I tell you, I have pastored for over 19 years. I have read books. And the reason why Christianity is the way it is because we don't read. The only thing we read is the Bible. That's all. We don't read other books. We don't care about other books. Go back and read books. Go and read the Apocrypha. Go and read some Judaistic books. Go and read read from people. And that's why we are backward. Because we don't read. And so we come up with these formulas. We come up with these perspectives that are very wrong. That are one-sided because you're reading just one side of history. And that's what I tell people. Be careful how you read and what you read. Because they can be deceptive. Pastors, read books. Go and read books. Read other perspectives. For you to gain a perspective, you have to read other perspectives. Don't just come here and just tell us, listen, what you know about the Bible is not all what you see in that Bible. There are other things connected to that. Historical perspective are connected to that scriptural references you are referencing. Historical perspective. If you don't know that, I want you to know that today. There are historical perspective of that Bible. There are historical perspective of that Quran that you don't know about. The only thing you know is to open the Bible and read. And sometimes you read, you are